Buffy the Vampire Slayer is the show that changed TV and defined a generation. Its clever blend of teen drama and supernatural horrors gripped and inspired us. Over 7 TV seasons and a further 5 in comic book form, there's a lot of story to unpack. And unfortunately, some didn't work as well as others. I'm Simon from Two Geeky Gays, and here are the Buffy TV seasons ranked from worst to best. The comics will feature in a follow-up video all of their own, so if you want to keep up to date with our latest content, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Before we start, there are spoilers on the way, though you should already know all of this. It's only been around for 20 odd years. Now, let's sink our teeth into this. Pardon the pun. Number 7, Season 4. Buffy has left Sunnydale High behind for college, and with Angel gone, she meets her new boyfriend Riley Finn, who also has an enormous secret. He's totally part of the sinister military organisation, the Initiative. Awkward. Season 4 gave us the award-winning Hush and so many other gems, including the Buffy and Faith body swap 2-parter and a surreal piece of art that was restless. Still, it didn't balance out the dull, the filler, and the outright awful. Beer bad, anyone?
Buffy's strong.
Yes.
It should be noted though that Willow and Tara's relationship was a turning point in TV history, as it was one of the first same-sex relationships portrayed on a prime-time American show aimed at teens. The season's big bad Adam is basically just Frankenstein, and has lots of potential, but that floppy disk drive in his chest really ages the episode. Not to mention that he doesn't physically appear until episode 13, which is just over halfway through the season. Number 6. Season 1. Season 1 seems to be universally disliked, and it feels wrong to have it so low on the list, but the seasons that followed were so much stronger. Yes, this one is dated, but as a starting point, it was perfect. It introduces us to the characters we would grow up with and love for years to come. It builds a mythology around Sunnydale and the Hellmouth, it sets up the Monster of the Week theme perfectly, and gives us a strong arc featuring our first big bad, the Master, who still looks terrifying to this day. Season 1 gave us iconic episodes like The Puppet Show, Nightmares and Witch, the latter episode which would see repercussions still paying off way into the comic seasons. The episode I, Robot You Jane was way ahead of its time in highlighting the potential dangers of online dating. This episode came out in 1997, but its lessons are equally important today, despite being classed as one of the worst episodes ever. We can't help but love Season 1. It's got that mid-90s Season 1 filter, but it has so much charm and heart. We all knew instantly that this was something special, and we weren't wrong. Number 5. Season 6. Season 6 feels much better on another watch as an adult, but it still feels very different to the previous 5 seasons. Dealing with themes of adulthood, responsibility, and Buffy coming to terms with being ripped out of heaven is already particularly dark. Throw in episodes like Normal Again, where Buffy is in an asylum, believing her entire Slayer life is in her head, and a subplot following Willow's addiction to magic, and we know we're in for a depressing ride. This season featured some amazing episodes, if not some of the most fun and original in Buffy history. Once More with Feeling, Tabula Rasa, Life Serial and Gone spring to mind, but these light episodes were lost under the shadow of some horrendously painful moments, including Spike assaulting Buffy, and Tara's brutal murder which triggers the Dark Willow saga. If you have any doubts on how twisted this series is, don't forget that Dark Willow literally skinned Warren alive in revenge for killing Tara. This season's big bads, the trio, start out as comedy supervillain types but quickly develop into something much worse, particularly their leader Warren. But it's Dark Willow who steals the show as the main villain in the final few episodes. This season did a really good job of showing us that when pushed too far, it's humans who are the most dangerous adversaries. Number 4. Season 2. Season 2 has its ups and downs. It was also the first season to be given a full run of 22 episodes, following the pilot season which only had half the length at 12. Continuing to deal with themes of growing up, we see the Scoobies dealing with adult relationships, breakups, assassins and apocalypse. And most terrifying of all, Joyce finds out about Buffy's secret Slayer identity.
Mom, I'm a vampire slayer.
Season 1 was varied in its content, but Season 2 pushed it even further, and while there were plenty of iconic episodes that stood alone, Reptile Boy, Halloween, I Only Have Eyes for You and Killed by Death to name a few, the series was very arc-heavy and saw major character development for everyone. Most notably, Buffy's relationship with Angel is pushed to the limits when he loses his soul and reverts into the evil Angelus. There's a new Slayer in town, Xander and Cordelia are dating, and the Hellmouth is just being, well, the Hellmouth. Season 2's big bad, Spike, and his insane girlfriend Drusilla may just be normal vampires, but their viciousness makes them great villains. When the true big bad is revealed as Angelus, he joins them and their shared history is revealed, and it was a massive, shocking blow for fans. Sadly, the only way to defeat Angelus and end the apocalypse he started is to kill him and send him through a vortex to a hell dimension that he opened. Ouch. Number 3. Season 3. Following the ultimate breakup in Season 2, in which Buffy kills Angel, she flees to LA but soon ends up back in Sunnydale for her last year of Sunnydale High. Angel is back from hell and is racked with guilt. And we're introduced to another Slayer and Buffy's frenemy, Faith, who was activated after the tragic events of Season 2's finale. Season 3 gave us some classic stories like The Wish, where we're introduced to Bizarro Sunnydale in a timeline where Buffy never came to the town. There's also other standouts like Homecoming, Gingerbread, Band Candy, and the emotional conclusion of The Prom.
It's from all of us, and it has written here, Buffy Summers, class protector.
Meanwhile, a big bad of the series is Sunnydale's mayor. He spends the entire series preparing for a demonic ritual known as the Ascension, which he hopes to complete at the graduation and transform into a full demon. Oh, and he's totally grooming Faith to turn her against Buffy. Yeah, it's a little creepy. Number 2. Season 7. Season 7 gets a lot of hate, but looking at it as the final season for a TV show for us, it hits all the right notes. A strong escalating threat? Check. An intense story arc that raises the stakes every episode? Check. Scary monsters? Check. This was Buffy back on an epic scale, much like Season 5. Spike has a soul and it's driving him mad. Giles has gone to England and the Scoobies are on their own. Meanwhile, things are getting strange at the rebuilt Sunnydale High, where Buffy now works as a counsellor, and the principal seems to be hiding a secret. The first evil is back, and it's growing an army of super strong uber vamps, as Buffy gathers girls with the power to become potential future slayers in order to fight them. Season 7 had so much going on, and it felt like it was building up to an explosive climax. Literally. With episodes like Same Time, Same Place, Help, Conversations with Dead People, it was clear that this was continuing Season 6's dark streak. Just like the previous season though, there was a brief relief for comedy episodes like Him and Storyteller. The first evil, being the root of all things bad, is the perfect big bad for the finale because it can assume the form of any dead person, something it uses to its advantage by shifting into the form of previous big bads and various other characters to manipulate the Scoobies and the audience.
Of course. So go. Be with her. Everybody will be safe and you'll be together again. It's not that bad. Really. It's just like going to sleep.
The season ends on the exciting emotional battle we expected and sees Sunnydale completely destroyed. But with other Hellmouths around the world, the Slayer's work is never done. Thankfully, she's got an army of Slayers to help her, and while it's sad to see the show end on TV, the comics filled the void for another 5 seasons. Number 1. Season 5. Season 5 was without a doubt the best in Buffy's history. The season kicks off with Buffy going up against the world's most famous vampire, Dracula, and it only gets bigger and better from there. Buffy suddenly has a new sister who appears from nowhere, but the other Scoobies all remember her. Joyce is in and out of hospital suffering from a brain tumour, and then there's Glory, a psychotic exiled god who is stealing people's sanity as she searches for the key that will allow her to get back to the hell dimension she calls home, even if it unleashes hell on Earth in the process. The stakes have never been higher, and there was a real sense of danger in every episode. Nobody is safe, and it feels like anything could happen at any moment. In an emotional series where the concept of death was a central theme, one of the hardest blows came at the end of the episode I Was Made to Love You. Buffy returns home to find Joyce dead.
Mom? What are you doing? Mom? Mom? Mommy?
The following episode, the body deals with grief following the loss of a loved one, and for the rest of the series, Buffy questions her own mortality and eventually accepts that she must die to save the world. Glory was the best big bad Buffy had ever fought. She looked like a woman, but she was super strong, super fast, and could drive people insane by digging her hands into their brains. She was the ultimate adversary for Buffy, and left us questioning how, or even if, she would ever be defeated. For such a terrifying enemy, it was only fitting that she would finally bring about the end of our beloved Slayer, even though we know that thankfully it didn't last. And that's it, our ranking of the Buffy TV series. How would you rate them? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a like, and if you want to know our ranking of the 5 remaining comic seasons, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Two Geeky Gays, and if you still want more from us, you can find us on Spotify, TuneIn and Apple Podcasts with Two Geeky Gays, the podcast. Grr, arg.